Party platform, as ratified at the 2009 State Convention. The preamble. We, the Republican Party of the great state of Utah, affirm our belief in God and declare our support for government based upon a moral and spiritual foundation. We affirm freedom for every individual as expressed in the Declaration of Independence and protected by the Constitution. We believe that citizens' needs are best met through free enterprise, private initiative, sovereignty, or to the safety and freedom of our citizens. We support the constitutional mandate to protect and secure our national borders. We oppose placement of United States troops under any foreign command, including the United Nations. We support lawful efforts of local law enforcement agencies to protect citizens in their right to life. We believe in the right to life for both the born and unborn. We strongly oppose abortion, except to preserve the life of the modifications made to our quality of life through ethnic diversity. Equal rights. We believe that no individual is entitled to rights that exceed or supersede the God-given individual rights guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Utah. Education. We recognize that government regulation can be a major impediment to productivity and to competition. We must rely more on market forces and less on government. Regulatory power now exercised by the federal government must be eliminated or returned to state and local governments. Economic development. We believe that a strong, diversified economy based on a positive work ethic, a well-trained and well-educated workforce, a business-friendly environment, and safe workplace will help Utah compete in a world marketplace. We believe that developing our human resources is essential to the future of working together for a better Utah. Utah state sovereignty. The 13 original sovereign states in Constitutional Convention created the Constitution of the United States of America and subsequently ratified that document, creating a federal government and granting to that government limited and enumerated powers. The 10th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States defines federal powers as those enumerated in the Constitution and reserves all other powers to the states and to the people. It remains the sacred responsibility of the states as creators of the federal government to keep the federal powers within the limits set by the Constitution.
The representative over all of the precincts here, Jesse Meeks, emailed me and said now that anyone participating in the Republican Party caucus meeting, whether they're going to run as a delegate or not, has to be registered as a Republican. So I would advise, if you're only 99% sure that you're registered as a Republican, that you fill out one of the registration forms that we do have back. Anybody want to take and run as the chairman? If not, then I'll remain chairman. Anybody volunteer for that? Or do you want to take and keep me as chairman?
No, I'm in favor of you remaining chairman.
Okay, anybody want to second that?
I would have to second that.
Okay. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
I'm currently assigned to the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, which is a federal task force. I'm responsible for dealing with all the child sex predators and bad things that can happen to our children. I've worked for the Weber County Sheriff's Office for about 10 years now. I previously did the best I know how, and I'll be available for any comments, questions, and concerns you may have.
Well, I have a question.
Okay.
I have a question for both you guys.
Okay.
Where do you stand on the current actions of the federal government towards the states?
I believe that the state needs to be kept separate. We need to be able to determine for ourselves what's best for us, because each state is different.
So specifically, what do you think should be done in light of the fact that recent actions of the federal government? What do you think we should do about it?
I think with the federal government taking over, I don't think they belong in private industry. That's what makes this country so wonderful, is because each individual citizen should be able to determine for themselves and put as much hard work into a business or whatever they want to do and make a life for themselves.
What do you think about Senator Bennett? Ed, I want to ask you the same question.
It could be a double-edged sword.
You through then?
Yeah.
Okay, all those, what was your
Well,
name?
I'd like Trevor to answer
Trevor,
that.
okay.
What do you think
All
about
those in
Senator
favor of Trevor being the vice chairman, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
I don't like I'm not comfortable with the Republicans, to me, unnatural connection with the UEA.
Okay.
And
I'm not out there to criticize North Ogden Police Department. I'm not out there to criticize the Ogden City Police Department. I don't have any control over that as an employee.
Let me just quickly answer the one quick question here. As far as the federal level of the government goes there, I do believe that they've way overstepped their bounds. I am pleased to announce that more states than not now have decided to get into the action of letting the federal government know that they have overstepped their bounds and are in the process of doing something about it. In fact, the latest list that I got back shows less than 20 states that haven't gotten involved in that and letting the federal government know that they have overstepped their bounds, that we need to decide on our own what's done on a state-by-state level. That I would like to see continue to be a process that we improve very much on in the Republican Party, not just in our state, but in all states. And that right there, I have to say
This just had to come through. You earn the right to come here, you get properly identified that way, you're here a certain duration, you pass the Constitution test, and you become an American. Something else I do not like is languages other than English on ballot boxes. If you go to Mexico to vote and you become a citizen there, you will not get a ballot in English because Spanish is their language. English is my language.
okay, Richard.
Once I was a farmer. I wanted to go back to my farm. After 2 terms, George Washington said, I'm a farmer, and I want to go back to my farm. This is not a government that was designed to have professional kings and politicians. Term limits are outstanding, even for those who understand the Constitution, or it says even read it, let alone teach it. You shouldn't be there too long because I am convinced of one thing. The only aphrodisiac I know is stronger than, I'll just say romance, is power.
amen.
And so hence, you've been there 8 years, you've been there 1 or 2 terms, you get out and let somebody else who's also an amateur like you were. Have you seen the guy that said, I'll run for 1 term only? And guess what they're doing next term? They're running again. So no, Bob Bennett, bless his sweetheart, and I told his office this, and he's been sending me lots of mail, he thinks I might get reelected. I told him, no. I said, you've been there long enough. If the big brass stand out, have a party, and we'll say hallelujah, amen, and good job. You need somebody else in there. That's straightforward enough, right?
From both of you, yes, and I appreciate it.
Okay.
I know that Bob Bennett is a committee chairman
Sure.
of the Transatlantic.
He's a very, I think he was what do you call him, a clerk for Alito. And I think that he understands the Constitution. I think he interprets the Constitution as the original framers intended. So my hunch is that he would not be for national health care.
And actually do what Utahns want, the majority of Utahns. So that's my deal.
Okay, any further questions for these 3 people wanting to run for?
You may want to write our
Write the
names up on the board.
Somebody a better chalk writer than me. Make sure you don't erase anything else though on the chalkboard.
I'm surprised we still have a chalkboard. Okay, so we have Ann. I don't know if I can do this alphabetical automatically. Maybe I can. George. And Richard.
Ann's last name?
Do we just need first names then?
Yeah, first name will probably be
There's no,
enough.
if George running against me, but you'd have.
Yeah, we'd have a problem, but I think I can count
Okay,
those.
since we're going to be voting on both state and county delegates, I would suggest you then write down write down 2 of the names of people of these 3 candidates on who you want to take and send to the